Hi guys, we're here at worldmusicsupply.com going over the new Line 6 DT50 all-tube Bogner design EL34 amplifier. Here it is, ta-da! Kind of very duo verb flex tone looking, and it kind of harkens back to a little bit of that styling. What it is basically one amplifier that contains four circuits, the four circuits of all amplifiers in the industry. You've basically got, or all amplifiers are derived from these four circuits. You've got basically a Fender, blackface type circuit, a British crunch, English type circuit, a Class A chimey type circuit, and a real modern high gain American aggressive type circuit. The reason I'm using the word circuit is there is modeling in the amplifier. It's an all-tube amplifier. There's two 12AX7s, two EL34s, but we do use the preamp of models in the four voicings because it's a combination of modeling and tube circuitry in each voicing. I'll explain that as we go along. In the amplifier on the back end, you can select whether one of the four voicings, and then you can select whether that voicing is in pentode or triode mode, and also select whether that voicing is in Class A, B, or Class A mode. And that's not modeling, that's real tube stuff. You can actually hear it switch the relays in the amplifier when you go from in between the different settings. The two channels are just two channels. They can be actually anything you want them to be. It's not like a standard amplifier where it's set up as a clean and a dirty channel. They're actually just channel A and channel B, and you could set up two dirty channels, two clean channels, two medium channels, whatever you want to do, by picking one of the four voicings and then assigning it to that channel. So as an example, we'll take, that's the first voicing, the American kind of clean voicing, and set that up over here. I also need to add that the only effect that's in the amplifier is reverb. There is a reverb on each channel. Other than that, there are no effects in the amplifier. It's just a two-channel, all-tube amp with the voicings and the topology settings. So we have this kind of... Oh, and just for reference, right now we're using the Tyler Variax 59, but we are not using any of the modeling for this demo. We're just using the magnetic pickups. So, and I won't turn on the modeling at all, I promise. Even though I'm tempted to. So with this class, this American circuit, it is typically in a Class A/B, so that, the power tubes operate as a piston instead of being on all the time when they are in Class A. And then it'll be in pentode so that all five of the columns of the tube are lit up. So kind of like a Fender Twin Reverb, Super Reverb, you have maximum amount of headroom. It's really hard to overdrive that circuit. It's a very high headroom thing. Now, if you do happen to put it down in triode mode in Class A, for example, turn down the channel volume and crank up the drive a bit. And you do start to get a little bit of grind. Still, you get tons of headroom, so that's a really nice useful channel in there, or the voicing. That's voicing one. Now we're going to stay on channel A, but I'm just going to change over to the second voicing, which is a English British crunch type voicing, and we're going to go back to Class A/B. That's what's typically associated with that voicing, and pentode. Now what's happening when I change these voicings, in addition to just the preamp model type for an American British, British chime or American high gain amp. You also have negative feedback loop topology settings that are changing in there, and those are real tube settings, not model settings. And you also have whether it selects whether the amp is cathode or fixed bias. So those are the real tube sections of the 4 voicings. So while, and this will make sense in another video when we go into incorporating the Pod HD series with the DT50, because you can select different preamp models, like say a Dr. Z preamp model, and use it with the Vox voicing or the Marshall voicing, for example. And then you'll have that negative feedback loop of the Marshall voicing and the biasing of the Marshall voicing, yet with a Dr. Z preamp, which is typically more of a Vox type negative feedback, zero negative feedback. So it really gets fun when you do incorporate the Pod HD, and again, we'll cover that in another video, but this is a great standalone amplifier where you can get 4 great voicings in 2 channels, and then when you incorporate it into the Pod HD realm, it really opens up. You can use any of the Pod HD 16 models along with the M13 effects that are in Pod HD, and through the Line 6 Link technology you can also daisy chain multiple DT50 amplifiers for really sophisticated rigs, kind of like a dry stereo wet. You can hook up 3 of these amplifiers so that your center channel will be just your dry tone, and then you can just bring your effects back through 2 stereo amplifiers, kind of like a Steve Morse rig or a Steve Lukather rig. All sorts of, or just 2, you can hook up 4 of these amplifiers and just do 2 amp voicings in stereo. It's really, this is another one of the products that Line 6 makes where we're going to be amazed by the way our end user uses it, puts it into practical application in gigs. So this is brand new, it's shipping this month, and we're really eager to see how people are going to use it. Going on to the next voicing is the British crunch type voicing. So we'll bring this down and bring the drive up. Plexi JCM. For all you pedal guys, the amp takes pedals tremendously. If you want to stick your favorite, whatever your favorite tube screamer is, in front of that Marshall voice, and you'll get some beautiful additional overdrive onto it, as you well know. Also, the tone stacks behave like the amps, so we've got this kind of pumped, and we're going to dime the presence and the treble in the mid-range, and just like on a Marshall, it's also going to give it more grit. We'll bring this down a bit, and we're now going to go over to the 3rd voicing, which is the kind of Class A British chime. We'll bring the volumes back up. Now, right now we're in Class A. That voicing is typically associated with a Class A type. Get it over to Class A, it's very much of a feel thing. To me, it starts to feel a little squishier, saggier, is a word that us mentally ill guitar players use a lot. And as you put it in triode mode, you drop a little bit of volume. And then this is, again, that Vox voicing. We're going to add a little bit of drive. Saggy, squishy. Vox voicing, but I got it back into Class AB, so it got more aggressive, more in front, and it might have killed the microphone on the camera. But the amp sounds tremendous. That's the Line 6 DT50. Just started shipping a little while ago. It's our flagship amplifier. It's all EL34s, 12AX7s, the 4 classic voicings that all amplifiers are based on. And what you can think of it as is kind of your do-it-yourself boutique amp. Because for you to be able to pull out those classic voicings and then play, in addition to that, with the negative feedback loops, topologies, and the biasing, and the pentode or triode, or the Class A, Class AB, all that kind of stuff, is you're just mixing and matching all these wonderful voicings of all these different amplifiers in one amplifier and deciding which channel you want where. So it's a really, really cool amp that's going to change some things. And then again, when you incorporate it with the Pod HD, which we'll go into later, you can even go much deeper by swapping out different preamp models with the different topologies and everything. So thanks for your time, and come down to World Music Supply and check it out.